Okay, so this is just a quick little video about the audio setup that I used for Subway Shark because it's pretty ingenious, and it looks cool on her, but it's also really functional and perfect for the environment. So if you ever want to record good like man on the street audio in an environment like a subway or loud outside, outdoors, whatever, this is a really good setup. So first we're going to start with the microphone. This is the Shure 565 SD. This is Freddie Mercury's favorite microphone. And what I like about this microphone is that unlike the SM57 and the SM58, which I love, this one isn't going to pick up voice in the frequencies that you kind of want to cut out when you're in these kind of environments and you're doing post-production, trying to cut out train noises and rumbles and stuff. This one is going to give you better audio in the ranges that you're going to want to be keeping. So I find that really helpful. So like if I was recording in a studio, I might use this, might not, depending on a person's voice. But outdoors, this is like the perfect Shure microphone. And you can still buy this today. You can also buy it used. I've always had this microphone. I've had this for as long as I've been recording music, which is since I was like probably about 14 or 15. This is the same microphone I've had this entire time. It's all dinged up, but it works perfectly. This is also a microphone that you could throw on the ground and it'll be fine. Not that I would recommend it. My only complaint with this microphone is that it has a on-off switch on it, and so to prevent the talent from accidentally hitting that, I just kind of put like a piece of plastic right next to it underneath this tape, and then I gaff taped over it and kind of just made it so you could really push down on it and it's not budging in any way. So yeah, this is the perfect microphone for man on the street. I stand by it and I would recommend it, and it's pretty damn cheap. And I also use it with it's just a dinky little windscreen for it. I find it helps. Some people, like, if they see a microphone has like this, they're like, oh yeah, that's enough. I always think you can get a little bit better if you put one of these on. So this is just cheap. This is probably like, maybe it was $2 or something. All right, and then now to the cable. So I was stuck with kind of a long cable for the shoot. It's just all I had. I don't have short XLR cables. People don't usually have short XLR cables, but I should probably pick up some because they are useful. So the only thing, I mean, really you just need an XLR cable, ideally a short one, but just make sure it's locking. Obviously one side isn't going to be locking, but make sure this side has like a locking function. You can get any cheap XLR that you trust, but just make sure it locks, and then that should be fine. And basically, like, the length that I figured to not have tied up was with a Velcro is basically her arm outstretched. I kind of used my arm outstretched and figured it out that way. So basically, I didn't want it to be a thing where she put out her arm fully and it pulled on the cable or anything. So that was basically how I measured that. And then we have this, which is, I don't know if he still makes these, Marty Audio. This is his like equivalent of like a cloud lifter or one of those type devices. This is just going to give you some clean gain on top of this microphone. Because really the only complaint people ever have about these types of microphones is that they aren't loud enough or whatever. But really you just need to put something like this on to just give you a little extra clean gain. I think he makes a really good one, and if you can still buy it from him, get it from him directly. As you can see, he makes these himself. This is like his handwriting, and it's a great product. I have like 3 of these. I use them a lot. Marty Audio. All right. Next is the Zoom F3. So this is like, it was like the successor to the H4n. H4n obviously lasts a million bazillion years. F3 is kind of like the next step up. My only complaint with the F3 is it goes through batteries like butter. I hate things that go through batteries like butter. That's kind of why I hate like Blackmagic cameras and stuff. But basically, as long as you hook this up to a power pack thing, which we'll get to in a second, it's a great device. What I love most about this, and basically the best function of this, is the 32-bit float. So 32-bit float means you can't ever peak it. It's impossible. So what it means is in post, you can kind of bring those peaks down. You're never actually peaking. And you can also lift audio without adding noise. It's a weird thing. I don't fully understand it, but that's what 32-bit float is. So it's perfect for set it and forget it audio. Like there isn't even a gain function on this. Like the Zoom H4n had obviously a gain function. You had to know what you were doing and set it up properly and adjust it. This, you just hit record. Works perfectly. Records to a micro SD. And takes a couple AA's. I wish it took like 4. Like I don't understand. Because like it's the Zoom H4n successor, right? And the Zoom H4n is like twice the size of this. So like why not make this take like 4 or 6 or 8 AA's? I don't get it. You have the room for it. Silly. But they just wanted to make it small. I get why they want to make it small, because like literally you can put this on a boom pole or whatever, which is cool and great. But I don't know. I would take a bigger one that lasted longer, because I wouldn't have to use one of these. That's my only complaint. Otherwise, this is a fantastic device. I love it. All right, so this is just go on Amazon. You get any one that looks like this. They're all basically the same product. It's just a power pack. You just charge it with one of these USB cables, and that's all. Not much to say about it other than this takes a lot of charge, and it works well with that. Basically, I'll go to about 95% or 90% on the battery by the end of like a 3-hour continuous 32-bit float record. So it's more than enough time. And then this lastly is just one of these little tiny USB cables. I don't even remember what they're called, but it's the one for this and that. Maybe it's USB-C, maybe it's something else. I can't even fucking remember. It doesn't really matter. All right, so that's the setup. And then I just kind of tie this, with this goes on here on whichever end. I didn't put it on this end. I put it on the Zoom end. This goes into that goes into this, and you just kind of tie it up. And like I kind of had her wear it on herself in like a weird, like almost like a Ghostbusters way. I just thought it looked cool that she had like almost this proton pack strapped to the front of her, especially because she's wearing like a beige thing. It just looked cool. But that was a decision like right before we started shooting. It was just, how can we get this rig onto her? And we just did it in the coolest looking way. Anyway, all right. So that's the setup. If you ever want to do man on the street stuff, this is the best you can do. My only addition would be get a shorter XLR cable. Other than that, this is pretty much perfect. We just kind of hit record and put it on hold and recorded 3 hours straight. We could have gone way longer. We could have gone 6, 9, 12, for real. And could have done interviews and interviews and interviews. So it is the best setup. If you've seen the film, you know that the audio is ridiculously good for the environment. So yeah. This works even in the New York City subway, even if with trains pulling through right behind the people talking. So it's about perfect. And thank you for watching this, and thank you for watching the movie.